Carl, you are an economist and you are concerned with making economics and fiscal policy work for the future. What areas do you believe are currently underfunded in the EU's budget, in the MFF, when it comes to preparing this continent and this union for the future economy? In other words, what should get more money?
Well, thanks, Julius, and also from me, thanks to you guys for being here, for discussing with us. And what Nico said at the beginning, the Parliament does not have the measures to tackle the challenges ahead of us. I think that's an important point. We urgently need to amplify investment. We need to invest in a good future. To give you just one example of a challenge, the current level of investment is not enough to reach the Paris Agreement's goals of reducing our carbon emission by 2/3 until 2030. And if we are thinking about what areas need more money and what areas need to be dealt with most urgently, there's a large debate going on about this. One topic that is crystal clear is security and defense. It is clear that the EU must step up, must increase its activity. But let me tell you one thing, security and defense, that's so much more than just the militaries. It also revolves about protecting our critical infrastructure. It also revolves around defending the EU and European values from attacks against our democracies, who are often carried out by foreign powers, and to use digital platforms to create instabilities within our societies. So that's about security and defense. And then there's the issue of competitiveness, which is heavily pushed by the European Commission, who wants to place a focus on this term. And there are some really important issues at hand. The digitalization, investment in affordable, secure and climate-friendly energy sources. But let me tell you one thing. If we talk about competitiveness, that we in Europe, we need to be able to compete with other continents, it cannot be the goal to only boost economic centres who are already strong. We need to focus on the entirety of European regions and, of course, competitiveness and economic growth. These goals must not supersede other goals, because climate adaptation and mitigation or cohesion policies, those are similarly important. And when we think about the Euro budget, the multi-annual financial framework, there's something that is really clear and everyone agrees on. It needs to be improved. It needs to be improved fundamentally. It needs to become more effective. But let me tell you one thing. It is really, really important that the control over the money must remain here at the European Parliament, because the Parliament, as elected body, must have a say on what the money is spent on. And in general, as an economist, I can only advise the European Union to spend its budget on projects with a cross-border impact, on projects that generate European value added. And yes, defense and competitiveness, they are crucial to European success, but so are social issues, so is climate, who must stay on the agenda. And if you allow me to just make one proposal at the end. If I think about the next European budget, I think it should strengthen the European Green Deal, and it must effectively tackle climate and social issues. So one policy proposal would be to include social conditionalities, environmental conditionalities into the next budget. I hope that Nico, you and others will pick this up. And there's a principle, the so-called do no significant harm principle, which basically says if you invest in projects, they must not do any harm to future generations. I think that's sensible. I think this principle should be strengthened, and it should maybe even evolve into a do a significant good principles, where the projects actually generate a value to European citizens. So to sum up, there are many challenges we need to address, and as a young person and an economist in both roles, I can only demand to increase investment into a good future.